Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Battle Styles, make sure you go ahead and check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using the code Omnipoke. For today's video, we are looking at another spicy one prize deck from Battle Styles. This time it's going to be centered around Primeape, trying to use that Steamin' Mad Strike, doing 50 for each of your benched Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So the puzzle we have to try and overcome is using Spiritomb and Jynx, as well as Houndoom, which can place counters on our own dudes, navigating that damage so that we have 5 Pokemon, all with at least one counter on them, so that Steaming Mad can go up to 250, 290 if you actually have 2 single strike energies on. So pretty dangerous, certainly into tag team matchups. Into VMAXs, you're pretty much two-shotting anyway, but you have that leeway, which is kind of nice, where you don't have to get everything straight away. You can hit your opponent for 100-odd, and then hit them again for the 200-odd mark, and you've got the 2-shot. So that's always quite nice. I do think there are going to be some problems with this list, or the archetype in general. We are quite vulnerable, because our opening requires us to have lots of Pokemon in play. That's why you see a ton of Ball Search cards in the deck right now. You need to get multiple Mankey down, Houndour. You need to be targeting Jynx and Spiritomb as well for early damage output. Obviously, Dragapult's come back into the format as well. This is horrific for us because we are having to damage some low hit point things. Houndour, Mankey, Mew, Spiritomb. They all have 60 hit points, and if we want to have the 50 damage, we need to put 1 damage counter on them, and then Dragapult can just sprinkle and take the KO. So that's probably the hardest matchup for Primeape coming out the gate, but we're hoping that it's still reasonable type coverage in the format, as well as just good beat stick damage output is going to be enough. So really, it's all about trying to get your Spiritomb Jynx going. I'm not playing any 2-prize Pokemon in the deck at all. This gives us a bit of leeway, gives us a bit of time against some other like 1-prize focused decks. And also, it's really just down to board space. What I really like about having Jirachi as the engine here is that I can scoop up net back into hand, so then I can play a second Spiritomb, play a second Jynx down onto my board. So that's why we're Stellar Wishing rather than having Oricorio and Dedenne. I can see one Oricorio sneaking in. The Dedenne I thought about and thought it was reasonable in the opening stages, but we're lowering our Quick Ball count, which is a small thing. It's still 3 copies, which is fairly high. But that Dedenne just sort of sits there, and it's really, really sad for you because a lot of the time you need to change that damage output in a good way. And of course, this deck, like I said, it's hard for you to reach like the amazing 250 kind of number by like turn 2, sometimes even turn 3. It doesn't happen. And in those spots, it's hideous for you to have a 2-prizer in play at any point. It's just too easy for them. So yeah, that's really why we're going Jirachi package instead. Scoop Up Net is actually a really good card in this deck. We're only playing 3 copies, but I would really like to fit in a 4th, because not only is it great for Stellar Wish, it's great for Ominous Posture, where you Houndoom 2 counters onto your active, and then you Posture, Scoop Up Net, Posture to move it over to 2 different bench Pokemon. And a similar thing can be done for Build Spite, where you build Spiritomb, Jinx it off, pick up the Spiritomb, put it back down, and Spite again. So again, it's another way that you can split that damage onto 2 targets instead. So these nets aren't just for Jirachi, they're also nice for the Jinx. The Mew is mandatory just for Urshifu, of course. Houndoom can actually attack in some situations. Darkness Fang does 50, and you can buff this with single strike energies, so it can be a way for you to 2-shot things after you've used Steaming Mad as well. So don't forget that. That's why I'm not playing any Dark or Aurora energies in the deck, because I feel like Houndoom is a good enough backup. Also, if you are hitting that sort of 270 to 290 mark, hopefully Mew can even sprinkle to finish off tag teams as well, which is something that you can think about. For trainers, yeah, just basically committed a ton to the Ball Search, because that's really what this is all about. Couple urns to reset our single strike energies, as well as the rods, which can reset Mew against Urshifu, but also just keeping a chain of Primeapes going is going to be really important. And yeah, I've already mentioned the Scoop Up Nets. For supporters, we get to play the new Bruno, which is a Shuffle 7, which is quite nice. It can protect some cards for us, like rods, bosses, that sort of thing, without having to research every single turn, but it's still, such a good card for the dig that we have to maximize copies of her. 3 Bird Keeper to help with our early game Stellar Wish combo, and the double boss. Not many times you can weave him in, but he's still a game winner for us ultimately. So yeah, that's the list. I don't think I'd make too many changes. You could think about adding in like a Oricorio. I think the first thing I want to put in is actually a 4th Scoop Up Net, possibly a 4th Jirachi. Those are the things that I want the most in the list. But really, it is quite an awkward and tight 60 to get working in the first place. So that's a challenge within itself. And then you've got the metagame to contend with after. But this is a pretty good start for us. We lead our best guy. We have Mankey and Level Ball for Houndour, most likely, looking at the stage 1s in our hand. We also get the benefit of a Mulligan, and we have Stellarwish, and we have so many... Okay, so we're up against ADP, so the way we have to beat ADP is we either have to poke it with, like, whatchamacallit, poke it with Primeape for, like, 40, and then finish it off the following turn with Steaming Mad. Or we need to like poke it with a Houndour, but because we're going first, yeah, we probably want to poke it with Primeape first, and then we Steaming Mad Strike, or we just find both single strike energies really quickly and get the full Dream combo. So yeah, those are our options. So Mewtwo is actually a little bit easier to hit. We only need 1 single strike energy to 1-bop that if we have the full complement of bench chaps damaged. Let's have a look at some prizes. We have 1 Primeape prized, 1 Spiritomb prized, not too bad. 1 Rod, something to bear in mind. All of our energies is nice, both pots. 1 boss still here. Okay, nice. So we can go Spiritomb early. Let's do the bench shenanigans. I should have done this first. Let's take... I think because I'm never bossing turn 2 anyway, I could just take the quick ball here, save the level ball for later. I'm never bossing on turn 2. So I might just take this to have the proactive Jynx play. I really do like focusing massively on the early game here, in this instance, because we're against ADP. So we can do a little Spiritomb dance here. We can hit the tomb and then turn it into a Jynx hit instead. And then we'll chill. So we're guaranteed threatening 5-10. This has to go onto a Primeape and it can become 15. So we're threatening 150 right now, as long as I can move Jirachi out the active and find a turn attachment alongside Houndoom. But not a bad start for us. You may notice that I'm not playing any Tower of Darkness. I've gone as high as a 4 count, and I've gone all the way down to 0. Swell is one of the reasons why. And also there's just a lot of Giant Hearth in the format as well. And I feel like just having raw supporters is better for the most part. They're actually going into Zacian, which is, again, an easier number for us to hit. We actually ripped the research off the top as well, which is a much better improvement for us. It means we have a 12-card dig to find our Scoop Up Net to get out of the active. And a bigger dig to find more ways to damage ourselves. So we can thin an extra Primeape here. Really good start for us. 3 stage 1s up and running. We really need to just find the good old Switcherooski. That's all we're after right now. We do not find the Scoop Up Net, unfortunately. So we'll just take this. We actually are threatening that big KO on the opponents. I'm probably going to spread the apes. If I attach both, it plays better around Hammer. And it means I could pay retreat if I wake up. I should always Jynx real quick. Do I want to play around Crushings? Probably, right? This mostly means that I can wake up and just pay retreat, which I'm interested in. Let's do that. I actually definitely should have Jinxed the Houndoom instead, because I forgot that I'm going to be single strike roaring next turn. So that was a small mistake. That could end up being a big mistake, actually. Thinking about how this works now. Yeah, that's actually a huge mistake. But I can spiritually move this over, and then... Oh, so maybe it means I still need to find a Scoop Up Net. Anyway, they are... that definitely should have been on Houndoom, by the way. We will see a fresh hand here. Oh, sorry, my opponent will. Looks like they're after Water Energy switch. Are they going to go for a Marnie here? Yep. Reloading that Marnie. They do have the switch. Do they have the water? No, they have a saucer. And now we see that Marnie. So they do have the water energy. They're going to alter creation. We stay asleep, so we're having to wish no matter what. I want to thin the deck before the Stellar Wish here. Stellar Wish gets us research. Now I'll protect the monkey. We do still have... So we only have one Scoop Up Net. We prize 2. You're kidding me. Not like this. This was our best chance of bodying a an ADP as well, because it's a Mewtwo. I'm roaring to myself. I'm attaching here. And we're doing this and hoping to find our one-off Scoop Up Net because we prized 2. We actually did. So we do have the KO here. Do I want this to be another Jirachi? Or do I want this to still be Jirachi? Or do I want it to be a Primeape? I should expect them to have... I mean, I have no more Scoop Up Nets, so this should probably just become a... another Mankey. So there it is. There's the combo. I worked harder than I had to actually get there, but we actually hit the 290 as well. So it would have been into an ADP as well. They've used 2 Saucers so far. They need Saucer attached to respond here. We've basically got guaranteed KOs from this point onwards, as long as I can find Urn of Vitality in time. And yeah, they just concede. So aggro ape, it actually happened. We had a really nutty turn 1. Our prizes were horrific, but we actually got away with it with the good old one of net. We played 3, of course, and we whiffed the Bird Keeper off the Stellar Wish also. That's why I wished first, because Bird Keeper and Research were both better than Brunoing. So we're going second here. I will throw Mew into the fray. So, you know, Jirachi, amazing rare. What's this going to be? What plays Jirachi? That's the question. Okay, they're passing. We actually get into the Jirachi, which is nice. I'm going to Bird Keep before the Level Ball, because any basics we're happy to see. Maybe not the Houndour. Maybe I was wrong. We'll take the Mankey, and then we'll wish. More of these nice, means we can get going with that good old Spiritomb again. Spiritombs are literally just here to do the old spite job. We get an early attachment, which is nice. We can ping a damage over. And we'll chill right there, I think. Pretty spicy. Let's see another Dreamy. Let's see if they can get out of this. Having to put down a Mewtwo. So, what is this then? Oh, it's a Rapid Strike. So, us starting the Mew is pretty pog. Pretty essential. They've also been forced to throw away a couple Rapid Strike energies, which is really bad for them. So the opening has been very poor. Primeape does punish poor openings quite heavily because the stream of attackers is fairly easy once you actually get there. Like, you front load all of the brick, basically. And then it's just trying to find your next Primeape, basically. So our opponent's bricked hard here. They've drawn everything out of order. They're forced to put down the Mewtwo just to not get donked, I guess. You don't even want a Cheryl on the top of your deck, really. Having to then DAA change. He finally finds an Urshifu V. And he's going to pass into us. So the downside is we don't have Bruno activation now. Of course. Let's Raw. Now, I could Raw onto myself again just to damage myself. It actually is a guaranteed KO if I just Raw onto myself and Darkness Fang here. If I can find a Jynx, I actually stay out of range of... Oh, no, I don't. It's 150, not 120. I'm thinking of Gliscopod. Let's go for this, though. I feel like this is kind of fine, the way the hand is. Bird Keeper's got to be better than Bruno here. This is kind of wonky, but it's a way that we can take a prize. And we know their hand is pretty bricky still. I'll still build Spite just for when I open up the space for Jynx. This does come with its risks, of course. But we're just trying to capitalize on this bad hand, you know. And we didn't have a guaranteed backup Mankey, so... Alright, our opponent is comming. They were missing attachment as well, which made this feel a little safer, because it means it's less likely he can just boss attach switch. Because he would have attached last turn, right, every time. He's forced into a Bird Keeper himself here. He air balloons the bench. Quick balls, so he can Crobat or DAA change. Yeah, Crobat for some cards here. Gonna reset stamp our hand from 6 to 5, which is reasonable. Also lets him draw an extra one. Also reasonable. Alright, he does find energy. But the aggro 1 prize certainly does help us. It means we're trying to two-shot this Urshi, and then we're just trying to find a bench KO. So let's do this. This means... Oh, that's a huge mistake. I should have rodded first. Okay, so we'll calm this. That was really bad, though. I should have looked at that first. We need this to be a Jynx anyway. And then I need to scoop up net and find a Mankey space. I will play the Ordinary Rod now. It was a mistake from me, but we'll just own it. I think I just want exactly the Houndoom back in the deck. And we'll do this. So we do get Scoop Up Net. I need to just find a Ball Search card off the Stellar Wish now. Okay, nice. So we have our Mankey. We have our Primeape. It's not a lot of damage, but like I said, we can try and set up the two-shot in this scenario. So we'll turn attach here. We'll do this. We'll Jynx off of Spiritomb and move it on to Houndour. And we'll just punch. I guess I could do a little more. I could do the Scoop Up Net on Jynx now. This is why Scoop Up Net's just kind of bust. I could certainly see adding in a 4th copy, to be honest. And then we'll move on to Jynx, because he wants to deal with Mew more than anything else. And we can damage Mankey with Houndoom anyway. So we'll swing for the 170. He needs to find a switch out here. He wants to be bossing. We have played one of our Ordinary Rods. Maybe a small oversight for me taking the Houndoom back. But I mean, if he just KOs the active, I need the Houndoom in deck anyway. So I think not an oversight, but just a risk. If he does go for a boss switch here. 2 boss have already been played. Yeah, it's just a Marnie. Okay, that's good. His opening was just really bad. Marnie's risky though, because we don't have the Jirachi developed. We are fortunate enough to get Mankey and Primeape, so that's almost as good as it gets. If I draw any Pokemon, I'll turn that into a Houndoom as well. Forced to pay retreat into Jirachi. He's had a terrible time of this. His opening was just poor. Yeah, he just has to concede into us. Well, like I said, the Primeape is very good. Because we're completely one prize, they literally can't catch up when they start going behind and we just have that board state. If we had a Houndoom, we basically have perfect board state from that point on. So, yeah. Pretty pog, actually. Aggro Houndoom 1 prize. OP. Never forget. Interestingly, Houndour is actually busted against Mad Party as well. It just does 20 for 1, and if you have the single strike energy, it does 40. And the teacups are weak to Dark, actually. So, against Mad Party, you have plenty of 1 prize, 1 attachment swings, because Primeape hits Bunnelby for weakness for 1 energy as well. Fact. Alright. Again, the opening is pretty reasonable. We have Level Ball and we have a Wish. I'm not too happy about researching this stuff away. Might look to get a Bird Keeper or something like that. We are up against a Turner though, and well, we are a fighting type. So that's pretty pog. Oh, do I panic Bruno to protect my chaps? Or do I just get rid of 1 rod and 1 single strike energy? I feel like we can do that. Let's just yeet. Houndour is good. We'll turn this into another Mankey, so that we don't just get wrecked. Is the other... Yeah, other rod is in here. Are both urns in here? Yeah, both urns are in here, and the other 2 energies. So this research was fine. Let's build some spites, and let's pass it over. Again, pretty good. The amount of ball search we have. Found a good number of basics early. Hoping that there's no Marnie... Oh, sorry, there's no boss from him here. So Weezing's an annoying 1 prizer. Galarian Weezing, if he's just going to Ascension into that guy. No, he's just going to attach the active instead and play the Marnie and hope that he sticks and bricks us, which is fair. He basically has sticked and bricked us. Which is a shame. I'll still go in with Mankey because not any top deck, but a top deck that gets us out of this just almost insta-wins us the game, so... That's not a card that insta-wins us the game, unfortunately. So let's start building stuff up on the bench. Let's get some damage counters swinging around. Yeah. And let's pass. So he's going to evolve into Weezing. He could go into the Weezing, but I can always pay retreat. All he's hurt... What's he stopping? He's only stopping Houndoom here. I mean, he's stopping Spiritomb Jynx, but... This actually just gives me more time. I think he should just be taking KOs here and saying, if you've bricked, buddy. Ah, okay, so he can do it with the boss. This makes sense. This does make sense. Because this takes away an all-important damaged Mon as well. So how do I damage myself at this point? I can't, so I need to naturally draw a single strike energy, and I only have one in the deck. So that Weezing's a big yikes for us. We don't hit any energy, actually. Do find a ton of Primeapes. So let's just Field Crush this chap. For 80. I forgot this was actually... I thought this was weak to grass, you know. So we didn't need the extra Pokemon on the bench. The extra damaged Mon. We just needed to attach. We weren't able to. They're going to Bird Keep now. Back into a Turner, probably. I'm going to Power Plant. They're going to attach. Weezing comes back in. Severe Poison. Okay. So this is going to be a really sad Bird Keeper if I miss Energy Drop. We don't have high odds either. I guess I can just Bird Keeper Scoop Up Net, so I should keep into this. We actually do hit Energy, which is nice. We also hit Pots, which will currently... we can play this, actually, because they're not... they are bad to top deck compared to, like, based on our hand. So this is only doing 40, so I need to pick up, put down, I could put down Stellar Wish. How many Scoop Up Nets have I played now? I played one net, one Bird Keeper. I think it's too risky, actually, because I can just Urn and Houndoom next turn. So we can attach here. And we'll just Field Crush. And we'll get rid of the stadium. So the Weezing skews the prize trade in a way. Our hand was actually terrible, so I don't mind this too much. We drew back into the Urn, which is the thing that we needed the most, and potentially Jynx, actually. He has the boss. He's actually targeting Houndoom, which is really smart. Man, it's so ballsy, you know. He made us have an energy attachment, which we currently don't. But, like, risky play. They're taking the risks, you know. We're at 5, 10, 15, 20. We're at enough as long as we hit energy. And we don't, which really sucks. I need to get rid of the Jirachi here. I just don't think it's Jirachi's game at this point. So the Houndour only makes sense if I can top deck Rod and Calm, or I can top deck any supporter that gets me Rod and Calm. Let's Jynx. I want to stay out of poison ticks on this guy, I think. this can be evolved. Yeah, really sad. But we can still win in 2 attacks, right? He can't win in 2 attacks, and we can. We can just KO this and then have anything to KO as long as we can gust the Wheezing. So as long as we draw out next turn, we still win here. Really unfortunate Marnie's stick, you know. Him identifying Houndoom is like so ballsy, but it's really worked out. You know? There's another Wheeze. There's another Power Plant. Wheezing is annoying. It makes me have Switch Out or Scoop Up Net here as well. And he's trying to continue to skew that prize trade, I think. I think he will go for it. No? Okay. Alright, well... well, any supporter, any energy, and now Ordinary Rod is a great draw for us. And it's just a Bog Primeape. You hate to see it. Well, stunning loss against Eternatus, believe it or not. That should be pretty close to auto. But Marnie sticking, doing stuff, pretty much. He took a really big hedge. He gets completely blown back as soon as we find energy drop. Possibly me not playing the Urn the turn earlier was a mistake, just to have 2 additional outs. But I was thinking of just... Well, I was thinking of drawing into supporter, to be honest. But let's get one more game in. Pretty insane to lose against the Turner, actually. Even with early game Wheezing, which does hurt, right? It stopped us spreading our damage, at least. It didn't stop us doing much else, because he knocked out Jirachi, but... You do have to use Jirachi pretty sparingly because of the low switch outs that we actually play. Let's have a final game. Alright. Looks like we're going to be just making a Mankey, attaching to it for now. Alright, our opponent starts a Mewtwo. Okay. Let's build Spite. It's actually bad to build Spite if he's playing... like, this could be Blounds, because Mewtwo Net is a thing in Blounds. But if it's Blounds, I'm terrified of Cramorant anyway, so... I may as well just put the damage on. If they're starting Mewtwo, they don't have the perfect hand, right? You'd like to think. Yeah, it's a welding deck. Pretty scared of Cramor Banana here. If they can weld to it. Puts us an entire turn behind. We prefer our board spaces to be things that aren't Mew. Mew's just like a necessity card. We'll see where their hand's at, though. Mewtwo's not just Blounds. It could be Senti, it could be Mewtwo GX. Yeah, he's grabbing Cram. Cram's the scary chap. He does the stuff. And he's gonna... Okay. Crobat? Or Dede? I don't really know here, to be honest. Alright. Wish. So we can Mind Report the Welder back and Dede change if he Scoop Up Nets this. Okay. Alright, now Crobatting for 5. That's pretty bad news for us. That probably means bad news. They have Weld and they have Wish to find a switch out. To ruin our start. Absolutely ruin it. You're ruining my game. As long as the Wish doesn't whiff. Gonna grab Boss. Yep. Just gonna deal with the Mankey, of course. We can Hearth and get back Mankey and Primeape, which is a sneaky play. And let's research. So we basically just want to make Mankeys and Mews. We can't make any Mews. No. Oh, we're just getting wrecked by Cram over and over again. You hate to see it. Oh, Cram. You sneaky little beak. I still bench Mankey because both these other Pokemon are worth staying in play, you know. They're worth keeping around. They're good chaps. If we're ever going to deal damage, we need them. Alright, so they're going to Jirachi. Looks like they need their next Weld. Probably. Excuse me. It's going to be a quick ball. Could be DAA change. There's a Blown. Could be a pass. Could be attached to Cram and pass. Salvation. Saved. Boss. Sure. That's fine. They're basically the same. Actually alive. Lovely. Okay. Alright. We've got a Bird Keeper and a Dream. How insane do these cards have to be, actually? I mean, not that insane. It needs to be, like, Mankey Primeape. It's Mankey Primeape. Okay. Yeah, it has to be Mankey Primeape. And we're hoping that the prize is kind to us, I guess. Let's go. Steaming, mad, angry ape. That's a kind prize, to be fair. We need them to whiff Welder again, which isn't great. But if he goes Blown, we try to then like remove the stadium and make it hard for him. This is kind of going in a weird direction at this point. This game. Going kind of south, realistically. It's getting rid of backup Hearths, which is good. Oricorio is a scary card. They get the free cards. Played 1 net, 2 switch so far. Then the giant half. Some red. They wishing for Welder? No, they have Welder. Okay. So they need Crystal Switch Out, which isn't much to ask for. There's the Scoop Up Net. Yep, they've got the stuff. They've got the KO. We can't respond KO here, which is really bad. The hand size is also kind of big. So getting rid of this stadium isn't really a huge deal with Primeape. So I'd probably just go into Jynx instead here. Try and buy time. It's not a great plan, but our hand is not great, so... I mean, if he's going to cram me, I'm going to lose anyway, right? So we'll just do this. So Blam KO is on the board. It's whether he wants to go for the cram KO. And we don't want to see that. We really don't want to see that. Would be nasty. They're attaching to cram. No Welder, though. Okay, so he's 3 attacks away from winning. We can, in theory, be 3 attacks away from game if we rip a Research or a Bruno right now and do some shenanigans. We do not. We certainly do not do that. So we'll just concede on that. So 2 pretty big high rolls and then 2 complete bricks, basically. We'll have one more game just for an attempt of a redemption arc, because the Eternal loss is a big feels bad. And that was, I mean, early cram can beat a lot of things, right? But we will, we'll try one more time. Just because they've been quick enough. Opponent's allowing us to go first. This is the redemption arc we wanted. Maybe. Kind of. Decent hand. Cape of Toughness. Twin. Are we up against Phalanx? 5 mulligans means it must be Phalanx, right? Hello. Okay. We're in for a game of sorts. We're probably going to be good against Phalanx, let's be honest. We We get to fill the bench quite nicely. I'll commit energy up front. That seems fine. Let's do this. Let's do this. Save this for Houndoom. Could just build Spite one more time if I want to try and KO this Phalanx next turn. Alright. So 20 less for each Phalanx they have. So this is a 180 hit point Pokemon right now. This is effectively 110. We played into their trap. They've Erica'd us. That's enough for KO if he has a twin. Oh, baby. It's the twin toughness combo. It's the catcher flip. I don't know what's better than killing a Mankey here, but... Alright, team attack. So this has 50, 60, 70. This is 160 hit points. We can hit this. We just need to not whiff. Kind of worried about whiffing an energy drop, so I'll probably Jynx off of myself. Alright, let's Jynx off Spiritomb, I should say. To here. Then let's do this. Then we'll do this. Wait, I should have Jynxed off myself. If I Jynx off myself, then I could have Scoop Up Netted, pick this back up, and the Spiritomb would have had two. So yeah, that's actually a mistake again. I said I was Jynxing off myself, and then I got confused by the interface. Let's Bruno. So we don't whiff the energy, which is nice. We can Houndoom now. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can grab the Jynx to make up for my mistake. Whoops. We're doing 5, 10, 15, 20. Plenty to madly strike this guy. We take the KO, but we don't have much else going on in the hand, unfortunately. We're in need of hitting more energy cards or more supporters. They're going to Bird Keep. They need to find more Phalanx, they need to find more energies. Let's see. It's probably a bit of a battle of the Lego right now. Let's see a Level Ball. That gets him to 90. Needs one more. And he needs a twin. Oh, just a capture. Okay, nice. Alright, what hit points are these at now? 160 minus 60, right? 160 minus 60. Well, I guess plus 60 is 220, and we can hit 220 right now. The 10 on the active doesn't mean anything, but I will still build Spite here, I guess. I guess I can take it off for the Jynx, so I can have double Jynx if ever I need to. Would I prefer to just boss the 1? No, I should take the 2 while it's here, right? It is going to go down. We'll take the cards. Single Strike Energy is good off prizes. Means next turn I can Quick Ball a Mankey. I can just attach and doom the Mankey. Well, what a strange few games we had. We bodied the ADP because we hit the stones. Then we beat the Urshi because they bricked. Then we had a heartbreak against a Turner, and then just no chance against Blounds. And now we're playing up against Phalanx. So there's all sorts on the ladder today, that's for sure. Yeah, they're just going to concede. Okay. Well, that was Primeape. Let me know what you guys thought. I can see myself certainly playing a 4th Scoop Up Net because they are just so pog. I could see myself putting in Oricorio as well. It's one of those things where you can see where the board state is like, right? You want it to be 1 Houndoom, Mankey Primeape, which is 3 spaces. You almost always need Spiritomb Jynx. Sometimes it's 2nd Spiritomb, sometimes it's 2nd Jynx, sometimes it's Mew. So it's like, where does the Stellar Wish even fit in on the board? So where does the Oricorio fit in is kind of the same theory. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you tried out Primeape? What have you thought about it? Do I need to add just more supporters in general? I'd like to hear down below. Thanks so much for watching though, and I'll see you for another one tomorrow. Cheers.